I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. I don't know if the audio sounds bad in here. It probably does. Probably does. But today's stream topic is about how we suffer more in mind than we do in actuality. And the fact that the audio might be a little bit echoey might be a bigger problem in my mind than it is to you, potentially. If it is as big of a problem to you as I feel it is, then we get to be problematic together. Yay! Thank you for joining me. It is a pleasure having you here. Today's stream topic is about just that, how we suffer more in mind than we do in actuality. Inspired by the Seneca quote. Thank you, Seneca. It might be Epictetus. It might be Epictetus. How we suffer more in mind. Let me start with the whole quote. There are more things to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And as such, we suffer more in mind than we do in actuality. I feel a lot better today. Yesterday I felt pretty... right? I didn't really explicitly say it, but the work that I was talking about getting the day before, I ungot the day after. There will still potentially be work to be had, but the work that I thought was already, locked down wasn't. And that did kind of mess with my whole demeanor, mess with my experience of self, as you do, as it does. But then afterwards I had this good night of sleep. I actually went to sleep at an appropriate time and slept throughout the whole night. And woke up feeling really good. I got some work done. For the next week, basically. And now that week of not having to stress is giving me this sense of relief. The sense of calm is washing over me. It's nice. It's very nice. Love is true. I have some psychedelic in here. Not psychedelics, just psychedelic. It's the strain name. I am going to appreciate, anticipate, and then experience. This strain is so peculiar. It tastes like if you could make papaya and shortbread come together. That's the closest flavor descriptor I can think of. The previous time I described this flavor, not to you friends, but to my friends in the house, it was a experience of Benutro. I don't know if you friends have Benutro in America. I've been like a papaya flavored Benutro. That's how I would describe that flavor. It is nice. And it is very potent. I have packed, gotten ready for an adventure after this stream is done, and we might end up ending it a little bit earlier. I'm going to get in that car and I'm going to drive it all the way to a place where John will be singing tonight. John is going to be participating in a singing competition. This is like the This is the round before the semifinals. And then after that, I'm going to go through to Johan's place. Christian is already there, chillaxing. I'm going to go and hang out with Christian and Johan. And then tomorrow, we're going to probably still hang out with Christian and Johan at Johan's place. And then Saturday, we're going to go through to Christian's dad's place. And then probably hang out with Popcho. And then I think I'll be back Sunday morning. I was thinking Thursday night, but I don't know if I want to be driving on Thursday night. On Saturday night. Thursday night. What? Saturday night. So I have a little bit of an adventure awaiting me. I'm happy in a way that I don't have any design work now waiting for me. I'm happy that I got some of my editing work done. I got some videos scheduled, so that will automatically be done as well. Yeah. It's interesting how different experiences, and not novel ones, like I feel like that's something I want to almost emphasize as well. Like experiences that probably every single one of us have had at some point affect us so potently. Even though you've had that experience before potentially. Learning from myself. It's nice being here with you, friends. The calm before the storm. Christian is already at Johan's place. My brain is doing a thing. I don't know if I should stop it from thinking these things. What are you thinking, brains? Are you thinking? I'm still thinking it. Lozana and Hoopy is here too with us. Bless you, Mala. To the lurky friends. It's nice having you. I'm going to inhale more psychedelic this strain. And then I'm going to take you friends to my room. And then we're going to pack a little bit more. Do a final round. Today's stream topic is about how we end up worrying in our minds more. Are you having thoughts and feelings? Yeah. We end up worrying in our minds more than we end up having things to worry about in reality. And that's what I'm noticing, at least. This interesting quirk. Time is a little bit wacky to me right now as well. Like things that have happened now weeks ago feel so clear and vivid in my memory. And it's making me think things. And it's making me have feelings. Wishing you the very best day today. Thank you, Kristen. That is nice. All of us have been wished a good day. I accept your wishes. I accept them. I believe in these kind of things. There's magic in words. Thank you for using your magic so beautifully, Kristen. I stacky more. Kristen, same to you. That is true. No. Hey, Giovanna's here too. She says, Kristen, I was watching an old stream where you mentioned seeing Craig. Conan, bruh, isn't he flappin' hilarious? Did you have a blast? So much love. That's so nice. Do let us know, Kristen. Meow meow, Rosanna, Melton Moore. Love you all. We love you too. Giovanna. Before the stream, I was just playing the piano, and that is what I was playing over and over. I never play the piano. Did you hear me all the way from there? It seems I do believe in like the whole mental energies and stuff as well. So maybe both of us, Novozana, have that have that channel open somewhere in our brains. That's so cool. Like that is I want to like freak out about it, and at the same time I want to be like, of course, LA. That's how connected all of us are. That is so cool. It's so cool. Love is true. It was amazing. He was great. I felt bad for the host because he was making a joke about how everyone's concerned about cancer, but nobody actually has it. He points at me and goes, have you had cancer?" And I had to say yes. And I was afraid. I ruined his set. It was very funny, and I gave him a hug after. Jeez. I mean, in a weird way, I would have found that funny, right? Like, it would have been like an even better punchline to the joke because it again communicates a certain level of ignorance and a certain level of understanding to the crowd how cancer can affect anyone, everyone, right? Cancer affects children. So it's not something you can just point at someone and be like, "Yeah, you have never had cancer," because cancer is all of our problems. That is effed up, man. I had this urge to play the piano, and that was all I could think to play. I had this urge to fill the space that was silence with sounds, and that was all I could think to make. So, yeah, that is kind of wild. I'm going to tune even deeper into the frequencies. Give me frequencies. Love is true. Sorry, Kristen, I was referring to you. I wasn't referring to you when I said the other thing. Yeah, there we go. Louisiana is tuned in. We have talked about that. I mean, now it's just more proof. I need to dust off my piano. I wasn't good, but I did enjoy it. And it's my mom's, so that would be nice to feel closer to her. I've been having conversations about moms more as of late. My grandma sent me a message as well. That starts, "I never hear about you. I never hear from you. what's up? Or something like that. And I go, hello, grandma. I get this going on, and I got that going on. You know, the branding, editing, the management, the festivals, the streams and flowers and yogas. And she goes, oh, yo, I've been paying attention to the news. And 3 schools had some sort of drug involvement, or there was drugs at these 3 schools. And yeah, like I legit even I can't even form a sentence because I don't know what she was trying to say even. It reads, Eish, ek het nou net na die nuus gekyk en daar was nie minder as 3 berigte waar dwelms by betrokke was. Een waar 3 skole by betrek was. 'n ander een van onder andere 'n baie gevaarlike en 'n ander vervaardig word. So, even though it is butchered Afrikaans, it basically translates to, I was just watching the news, right? I share what I have going on, and she's like, oh, I was watching the news, and I saw 3, like, announcements, things, right? Like them talking about, what do you call those? A news article, right? There were 3 articles where there was drugs involved. One of these articles was for 3 schools being involved. One of them is about how dangerous one of them is, and one of them is about the manufacturing of one. I'm happy it's going good with you. Don't, with my equality naming, don't. It's not like taking for granted, but it's almost like taking for insult. You know? And she goes, don't take me for insult. I'm just worried about you. And I'm like, oh wait, grandma. And then I send her an article. I'm like, Gran, I take psychedelics, right? I don't take powders. It can potentially be mixed with fentanyl, right? So that is not something that's dangerous to me, and I don't have a problem because psychedelics are by nature anti-addictive. Like you do psychedelics, and then the psychedelics are like, how about you don't? For like a few weeks at least for a few weeks. Don't do this thing again. Alcohol, even weed, doesn't have that mechanism built into it. Right. So I share an article with her, you know, and this article is about psilocybin and how it helps with brain-derived neurotrophic factor and like regrowing dendrites in your neurons. And then she goes, thank you. Just remember, I care. Right? And it's this juxtaposition, and this is what I'm trying to say, right? Like it's worse in her mind than it is in actuality in that way. And because that is the kind of exchanges I get to have with her, I don't really exchange because she just sees me as, in her worldview, a drug addict because I smoke weed and I eat mushrooms. All right. Like there's no separation. And I get she cares, but like how am I supposed to get through to her? And then I have those thoughts and feelings again, Rosanna. Thoughts and feelings. Oh, that's sweet of your Gran. She doesn't understand, but she cares about you. It's true. It's true. But again, like she's letting herself, because she watches traditional news, right? So she's watching traditional news stories, hyper, what's the word? Sensationalized. Yeah, there we go. Hyper sensationalized news about drugs. Oh no, the drugs. Right, capital letter drugs. Ching ching, ching, flashing imagery. Oh, oh, drug. Right? Like that she'll sit down and experience. Yes. And then I sent her an article well put together about the benefits, about the current use cases, about the studies, the multiple studies that have been done, about the lack of neurotoxicity with these substances, etc., etc. And then instead of like experiencing that information, there'll just be like, thank you for sharing this information with me, right? I'm not going to read it or adjust my worldview, but thanks. And that, I have a really hard time uh, interfacing because in my mind, right, and I think this is why, like the autistic version of me that has a process of doing things almost feels like if there is an unwillingness to admit ignorance, and in that willingness to admit ignorance, admit that other people might know other things than you, there's almost no more like dialogue boxes. Right? Imagine like playing a game and you just met this NPC, and then this NPC, like you reach you reach a point in the conversation where you just cannot go further. There's no more little buttons to press. I feel like I that happens a lot with me and my family. And the unwillingness to admit that there are other ways to live. There are other ways to exist in this world. What you believe is right and wrong is but a perspective. And I know that there is a universal idea of right and wrong, and I feel like, again, that universal idea of right and wrong is very intricately linked to the harm of others. But I have never harmed another person. Right? In fact, like the part of me that was capable of harming a person died. With me melting my ego, to say it in so many words. Right? Because when you are in that state where you are egoless and you find yourself in this environment and you're confronted with the reality of your unity with it, how can you justify hurting that thing that you are, the everything it is? Again, that's a crude interpretation. It's me trying to use sounds to encapsulate something that is way too big for words to describe. But it is something that I wish all of us would be, at the very least, open to experiencing at least once in our lives. Please, Grandma, consider it. Consider it, Grandma. Why did you consider it? Shadow. This was my mom's piano too. It is mostly furniture now. On once in a very rare occasion I play it. Happy to have synced with you in that way, and for your synchronicity with me to have encouraged Kristen as well, who also had the synchronicity of mom's piano. Sorry to hear that. Allah. It's sad times for my sister. Lost her second husband. Married 6 years. Son-in-laws. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. Love is true. You were telling her what's going on. She was telling you what was going on. Thank you, guys. Love is true. That's sweet of your gran. She doesn't understand. She cares. It's true. I'm sure she sees you as more than that. My mom would have been the same way. I sure hope so. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my grandma's side, my mom's side of the family. Thinking about all of the scuffed exchanges I've had of that side of the family. So many scuffed exchanges, like an exponential, right? And to put it in as like when I say an exponential, if I had maybe 10 scuffed exchanges, when I say scuffed, it's like exchanges that left you feeling uncomfortable, left you feeling sad, left you feeling angry, left you feeling how dare this person, right? There might have been like 10 of those exchanges on my dad's side of the family throughout my entire life, and there has been like 100, between 100 and 1,000 of those exchanges with my mom's side of the family, right? As a ratio. I don't know if the numbers are correct, but as a ratio. I wonder how much of that can be contributed to lack of understanding, as your friends mentioned. Mm. Those people in our lives that we love so unconditionally, that the abrasiveness of their fears is just a minor irritant. I have an aunt like that. Love her to high heavens, but geez, the convo content can get noisy. Yeah. Melt is your dad's mom? Melt, is this your dad's mom by any chance? No, this is my mom's mom. My dad's mom has passed. Everyone thinks they have a good approach to mortality, to morality. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if everyone thinks they have a good approach to morality. I think morality is something that you will have to live with, ultimately, right? Your morality is going to be the thing you have to live with. So I feel like in that way, morality is experimental. Like you'll learn things about yourself and about your morality and about your person throughout this experience. And what I have noticed is when I live a life led in love, I feel better, right? Experientially, than if I live a life lived in fear or anger or hatred. So experientially, I want to live a good life. Selfishly, right? Surely. So I'm going to make sure love is true. And that I feel like is the simplest approach to morality you really can have. But I don't know if everybody comes to that same conclusion. Can't take it personally. It's not you that they're worried about, but the thing itself. You just happen to be here. Their closest connection to that thing, she's told to fear. And so you are her point of reference. That's a beautiful point you're making, actually, Chopin. Yeah. She fears this thing, and it's one of those things that's like out there for her and her worldview, like, oh, this thing out there. And then she has a grandson who, instead of for this grandson, it being, oh, a thing out there, has been seen, by this person, right? I live in the world where that is a common thing, right? So to her, that is like maybe her way of trying to reach with this unfortunately misinformation that she's getting. Right? Like I feel I'm not in school, so that informational point is unfortunately null and void for me. Uh, I don't mess around with opioids and powders. I don't snort things. There's nothing that I put in my body that can be cut with fentanyl, right? And I'm very particular about that. So that's not a worry for me. And then I don't manufacture. I don't make meth, grandma. And I have no ambitions to. Right? It seems like a little bit of a hectic gig. I watched Breaking Bad, right? From a place of shock and horror, not from a place of like, this is a good business idea. I want to get Mafia. No, please. No, please. Oh, Gran. She should watch Breaking Bad. She should. You know, that's probably going to freak her out even more. But maybe after she goes through that freak out, she'll realize that I'm pretty reserved. I'm pretty chill guy. Pretty chillaxed. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me for this moment. I'm going to wrap it up a little bit. There are adventures awaiting. I think it's gonna be a cool experience. Sending you friends lovins. Thank you for joining me. See you friends again soon. After I pull a card and stuff. Okay, I'll go get my card's picture. Have a great trip. Thank you. I don't know if you heard the plans, but we're gonna head through a little bit sooner. Go and see Johan and Christian, and then see if Johan and Christian will come and join us for the singing competition. If not, why not? Right? Like, I have gone out to Capital Craft with them multiple times. They can come out to Potsdam a little bit. People rationalize, people dialogue. These are our capabilities. I hope you take in the self-identity idea that allows for others. I do. Like, the lesson I took from today's stream is that people do not have access to all of the world in the same way. And in that way, you might be the closest thing they have access to this world that they're thinking about. And as a result, you might be implicated. Alright, you might be sent a message about that. Ooh, that sounds fun. It is gonna be, I think so. Ooh. Boundaries. Do I need to set boundaries? I feel like I have pretty decent boundaries, but I also feel I put out a certain demeanor, like an aura, that establish boundaries for me. I have rarely had to be like, hey, actually no, not like this. I haven't had to do that many times in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Weirdly enough, I think if anything, it probably would have to be with myself. Boundaries. Where do you establish better boundaries? Look at this cool card. Bunch of hands reaching. And you, in your power, creating your boundary. This is a sick card. I like this one. Very psychedelic. Spirals in her center and around her head. Flowers above and below. And none of the hands touching. This pleases me. You might be loved though. Whatever message. This is true. One more time. And I'll read to you boundaries. You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes, saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal. But before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself what needs. Ask yourself what part of me needs something from them. It could be need for approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is trying to communicate with you? I realize that for me, it is an approval thing, right? It's almost like as soon as I get approval from the world, it's like it's easier for me to give myself approval as well. And I don't know if it's even approval. Like it's not that deep, I want to say, right? It's not necessarily approval as in I need you to tell me I'm doing a good job, right? It's not like that. It's almost just a matter of like even facial expression, right? Seeing a smiley face as a reaction to the work I've done almost is enough. And I say almost uh, because it's something that I would want more clarity on still afterwards, right? Like maybe I'll give you two options and one of them gets a smiley face. That would be enough for me in this moment to feel like I've done a fine, right? I can continue thinking about something else. But then later I would want to know why you like this one more than the other one, right? So I can, put those bars in my brain too. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Things are going to be better than we anticipate, friends. I believe this. I hope you believe this with me too. I'll see you friends again soon. I hope you have the most beautifulest day, everyone. Your for reals are so super mega ultra extra adore Kristen and Louisiana. Meow meow and lurkers and mouth. You are all masterfully mindful. Masterfully mindful. So kindly considerate, inspiringly insightful, thoroughly thoughtful, and absolutely awesome, amazingly authentic, happily wholesome, humanimal critter creatures out there considering the content of our consciousness. Thank you, Jovan, for your efforts and writing a goodbye message. That was so nice. Mwah, kiss on the cheek. Love to you too. Oops, sorry, Jovan. Love is true. And Sam too. You sneaky lurky lurker, you. Love to you, friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye, everybody. Love yous. Till tomorrow.